Farmers movement which is going on at three border sites of Delhi is become very popular and very longest movement in the country. It has received wider support from the globe, not just American farmers, European farmers, but also it received wider support from the South Asian farmers. And because of all these things, this movement, this protest has become the historical movement in the country. Now in this video I am going to describe three important impacts of this movement. First important impact is this movement, how this movement has challenged the existing narrative of Indian society and Indian political system. And second important impact is it has brought out, it has redefined the idea of social movement, basis of a different kind of a strategy that the movement has adopted during this period. And third important impact is how this movement has brought out the fundamental issue to the mainstream political debate. And all this impact of this movement has brought out, had redefined the entire system into a different way, and also influence in the everyday life of Indian society. So let's just start to discuss the one by one. Please be with us and watch this video till the end. We will describe all these issues very clearly and step by step. So let's just start. First important impact is this movement has challenged the existing narrative. If you observe that before this movement, there are so many issues are very popular, and especially the nationalism and so many other anti-secular issue is very popular in the mainstream debate. After 1990, there is a change happened in entire Indian society. Not just the issue has been changed, but entire structure, entire everyday life of the Indian society has completely changed. Because after this period, the market become one of the dominating force, and it has brought out a different kind of notion and different kind of ethics in our society. And that ethics and notion not just redefine the issue of our society, but also it's dictate our public sentiment and also dictate the debate and discourse and narrative of Indian society and also Indian political system. And after 2014, when Modi came into the power, this has also brought out the anti-secular issue, and anti-Muslim sentiment has emerged very powerfully, and the state has supported through different medium using social medias and so many other medium to create propaganda against the Muslim, against the Dalit, and also against the women. And this is the important aspect of this period. When the movement start, this narrative has very dominant, and people have influence from this narrative. But before this movement, but the movement start, and from the beginning, this movement has started challenging all these narratives. And basis of their own perspective and basis of their own demand, the farmers movement has established their a different kind of narrative in entire society, and that narratives includes the secular notion of Indian society, and also it's defined the egalitarian condition, sentiment among the Indian population. And this is the interesting fact and also an important contribution of this movement for Indian society. And during this period, if you observe that movement continuously rejecting the populistic notion of that is established, that has been established in Indian society, and also it's challenging the common the existing narrative of Indian society, of political society. And second important aspect is it has redefined the idea of movement. How it has redefined the idea of movement. First of all, if you observe that after 1990, there is a condition has been emerged in which the market has become more dominating force, and it has also redefined not just the entire political system, but also it has changed the entire society. It has also brought out a different kind of thinking process in Indian society. And this is the interesting fact that because of all these things, not just the Indian society have developed a different kind of narrative, but also it developed a different kind of sentiment, different kind of political narrative in entire Indian society. And movement and civil society's activity also has been changed. And there is no movement happen that address the fundamental issue of Indian society. And there is no movement that have any linkages with the basic social order, with the basic condition of the real condition of Indian society. And this is the interesting fact, interesting condition that everyone have observed. And but this movement has brought out a completely different idea of movement that already have before 1990. And movement completely linked to the basic fundamental issue of Indian society. It has continuously redefining the idea of secularism, idea of justice, and idea of egalitarian notion of Indian society. And because of that, this movement has the great contribution, and how this movement has redefined the idea of social movement. It is the interesting and important fact in this contemporary period. And third important impact is how this movement has brought out the fundamental issue into the mainstream political debate. And this is the important contribution of this movement, because before this movement you cannot imagine that the media houses and the intellectuals and so many platforms on which the issue of common public has been debating, and there is no any issue, any individuals that debating the common issue of Indian society, like agriculture, land reform, and so many other issues. But this movement has created a new space in Indian society and also in the mainstream debate. And basis of that, the fundamental issue of Indian society have came into the center of political debate. And this is the important contribution of this movement. So all this impact of this movement is very interesting, very important, that contributed significantly in this period.